Hi everybody, this is Makiko from RAYKI Love. How are you? We continue this discussion about the heart and heart math with Ken. Welcome, Ken.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about emotional pressure. And this was another wonderful thing that this analysis we did. I did with Ken. One of the important report. They show you the bar graph actually in a quantified way where you are at in terms of emotional pressure. And then in the beginning, I think my emotional pressure was a relatively, it's okay, but it's not optimal. And then once I experienced the release, and immediately went down to the optimal level. And I was stunned how quickly it responds, right, energetically. It's a state of the mind or the heart, the release of the heart. It very instantaneous, and then also it impacts the wholeness of your system. So as we all know, I hope, we are energy being and very much wired in electricity, wired into truly. So I would could only imagine the power of the heart and then how the emotional pressure impact the rest of our body. So let's turn this to Ken. Ken, would you mind explaining us a little bit better?
Yes. So, hello again. Yeah. So, we'll go back to kind of like the whole premise of heart intelligence and how emotional pressure, like anxiety, depression, and different things, affects our heart. So, we had mentioned in the last segment that the heart has a separate neurological system than the brain, and the heart actually communicates with the brain more than the brain communicates with the heart. So what we feel, right, really affects what we start to think. Okay. So when we have emotional pressure, okay, that tends to be like static, okay, to both the heart and the mind. So I want to kind of talk about like heart rate variability because that's really the piece that kind of ties everything together. So when we go to the doctor, he measures our heart rate. Okay. So just say 88 beats per minute. So 88 beats per minute is just an average, okay? So heart rate variability is actually going a little bit deeper, okay, to the per beat. So the actual distance within beats and finding a direct correlation to our like emotions, what we feel, and what we're actually thinking. So through the studies of heart math, what they found was that when we have a negative thought or a negative feeling, that actually affects our heart rate variability, which actually puts us in a non-coherent state. Okay, so when we have, our heart rate, like the beats per minute, are very much in line. Okay, we reach higher levels of coherence. So what does that mean? That means that the communication between the heart and the mind is very clear. Okay, there's less emotional pressure. There's less strain on your overall system. From your physical system and energetically. Okay, because energy is information. So the more emotional pressure we have, it affects the way, say, the clarity of energy within our body, the way that we're seeing things. Okay, so when we're in a non-coherent state, okay, we're experiencing, say, stressful thoughts, stressful emotions. What ends up happening is we go into a non-coherent state, and that really limits our perspectives. Okay,
Mm.
so
Wow. I just want to interject because it's interesting. I've seen the people who has so much disorganized thought processes energetically. Uh, I feel so much different, incoherent, right? Because they are not like music. They are not in a harmony here, and also sucking up the energy from the lower chakra, especially the heart space. It is not communicating. It's not only separation of the energetic separation from the head, the mind actually, from
yeah,
the heart. That's what I observe, and they are not enough energy in the heart chakra. So what you just said is resonate well with me. I did not even know, not just a disorganized thought process of thoughts, but just simply having a negative thought. It impact the basically the function of the heart. That's what you're saying.
oh yes, yeah.
Hmm. So is it it's interesting because to me, in terms of the energy, negative thought and positive thought is still energy in a polarized thought. But you are teaching us even the polarized thought, but the positive thoughts is more natural to our being.
Yes. And especially when we feel it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when we combine the visualization, like let's just use it as an example. Like, say we're meditating, right? And we're trying to have like a more heart focused meditation where we're trying to say meditate, like manifest, say a certain desired outcome. Okay. Now, when we're doing that, right? The thing is if we could visualize, feel, okay, and actually like think it, okay, that's when we're really resonating it out there to have true manifestations. So basically that whole formula right there, no matter whether it's heart math or you know,
Mhm.
whatever you're doing, right, when we have our heart and our mind connecting in a positive fashion and we can actually think and visualize that and believe it, that's when we're really in high coherence. Okay.
Ah, hmm. So it doesn't make sense because they said the emotional element is a paramount for the manifestation. It really ignite and take it off, right? So it makes sense, but it's nice to hear the scientifically coherent,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's a actual power. Well,
I've done
yeah,
like a lot of seminars where I have like an HRV sensor that I use, and I'll work with people. I'll have them come up and think positive thoughts, and then I'll talk to them about some of the negative things that's going on in their life, and they'll see
mhm,
how their heart rate variability is affected and how they slip into a non-coherent state. You know,
that's very powerful. Again, that's awareness and attention. Now you have a tool to tell you how well that correlate with your mind and the heart, and physically it shows. I think that's quite powerful way. Well, thank you so much, Ken, for educating us, and I hope you could join at some point and kind of showcase what you got, and we could all kind of share and understand the mystery of the heart and how important to take care of our own heart.
thank you. I would love that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.